My name is Arthur Goldwasser. I've been honored with giving a Dvar Torah on this week's Parsha, Parshas Chaya Soroh. No word in the Torah is random. Every word is very specific. With this thought in mind, the Or HaChaim asks the following question. The Parsha starts out with the words Vayiyu Chaya Soroh to describe the death of Sarah Imenu. So the question is, why the words Vayiyu? When Adam Harishon died, chapter 5, verse 3, it says Vayichi Adam. When Noach died, in Parshas Noach, chapter 9, verse 28, it says Vayichi Noach. When Shem died, chapter 11, verse 11, Vayichi Shem. When Terach died, chapter 11, verse 32, Vayamas Terach. When Avraham died, it says Ve'ela Shnei Chaye Avraham. These are the years of life of Avraham. By none of them does it use the word Vayiyu. Only by Sarah Imenu does it have the word Vayiyu. In order to answer this question, I'll give you a little bit of background first. Vayiyu is the plural form of the word Vayihi. In general, in the Torah, where we have the word Vayihi, it's followed by some distressing news. For example, Megillah Esther, V'hi b'mei Achashverosh, is followed with the rise of Haman and his decree to kill all the Jews. In Megillah Rus, V'hi b'mei Shvot HaShoftim, that was followed by a ra'av, by a famine. So Vayihi generally introduces distressing news. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is a medrash that Rashi quotes. He says, why is the parsha of the death of Sarah immediately after the Akedah? Because they were connected. When Sarah heard about the Akedah, Korcha Nafsha, her soul just flew out. So the first answer that the Or HaChaim gives is, Vayiyu Chaya Soroh. After Sarah heard the distressing news of the Akedah, she died. That's why it uses Vayiyu. It was distressing news that brought on her death. The second answer is, Sarah's life was shortened because of the bad news she heard about from the Akedah. So Vayiyu is just coming to tell you, yes, initially her life was intended to be longer, but it was shortened. This is Vayiyu. This is how it was. Another explanation of the word Vayiyu, and this is to teach us a very, very important lesson. Tzaddikim fill their days with life. People who are not tzaddikim fill their life with days. So the Torah, and there's a very, very strong lesson in that. The righteous give life to their days. Each day is filled with spirituality. The wicked, they just find ways to pass time during their physical existence. The Torah is telling us, Vayiyu Chaya Soroh. Sarah filled her days with life. Another explanation is the Torah is telling us that Sarah's life had two distinct segments. The first segment, Vayiyu Chaya Soroh Mea Shana, the first 100 years of her life were distressful. And then, Ve'esrim Shana V'sheva Shanim Shnei Chaya Soroh, but the last 27 years was when she really lived. What does this mean? Well, for the first 90 years of her life, she was childless. And for the following 10 years after she had given birth to Yitzchak, Yishmael was living in the house, and she was terrified that Yishmael was going to hurt or harm her son Yitzchak. But after Yishmael was out of the house, for the next 27 years, she was living. Similarly, the Zohar says, look at the gematria of Vayiyu. The gematria is 37. The years before the birth of Avraham, of Yitzchak, Sarah was childless. Those were very difficult years for her. But the 37 years that she had Yitzchak in her life, Vayiyu Chaya Soroh, the 37 years were living.